In the 7th century before the Common Era, the Middle East became the stage for a ruthless competition between three great powers: the declining Assyrian Empire, the rising Babylonian Empire, and Egypt, which sought to expand its dominance in the region. It was during this time that the decisive Battle of Carchemish took place in 605, before the Common Era, between the Babylonian forces led by Nebuchadnezzar and the Egyptian army commanded by Pharaoh Necho II. This battle not only sealed the fate of the Assyrians, but also established a new order in the region. The Assyrian Empire, which had dominated the Middle East in previous centuries, faced internal rebellions and external invasions by the late 7th century before the Common Era. The Medes and Babylonians united, leading to the fall of major Assyrian cities, including Nineveh in 612 before the Common Era. Fearing total destruction, the Assyrians, led by Ashur-uballit II, retreated to the city of Haran, making it their temporary capital. Haran, an ancient city in Mesopotamia, is now located in Şanlıurfa province, Turkey. Ashur-uballit II had managed to escape Nineveh during its siege by the allied forces of Media and Babylon, thus saving his life. After the fall and destruction of Nineveh in 612 before the Common Era, Ashur-uballit II's army, with Egyptian support, was able to defend Haran for a short period. The city became a symbol of resistance, albeit briefly. The 26th dynasty of Egypt had been installed by the Assyrians themselves. Pharaoh Necho II, sensing the danger of Babylonian expansion to Egypt's borders, decided to assist the Assyrians. He assembled a powerful army under his command and marched towards Haran. However, in 609 before the Common Era, the allied forces of Media and Babylon captured Haran, forcing the remaining Assyrian forces to retreat to Carchemish on the banks of the Euphrates River. This city, due to its strategic location, became the last stronghold of the Assyrians. Carchemish, or Carchemish, was an ancient and significant capital located in northern Syria on the western bank of the Euphrates. Over different periods in history, it was independent, but also part of the Mitanni, Hittite, and Neo-Assyrian empires. The present-day ruins of Carchemish lie near Jarablus on the border between modern-day Turkey and Syria. In the Bible, the city is referred to as Carmakish, while the Greeks and Romans called it Euripus. The Assyrians once again appealed to Egypt, their former colony in North Africa, for aid, and the Egyptians responded. Josiah, the king of Judah, allied with the Babylonians and attempted to block the Egyptian forces under Pharaoh Necho II at Tel Megiddo. Josiah was defeated and killed during the Battle of Megiddo, 609 before the Common Era. Pharaoh Necho II and Ashur-uballit II laid siege to Haran in 608 before the Common Era, but their efforts failed, forcing the Egyptian forces to retreat to northern Syria. It seems that Ashur-uballit II also sought assistance from the kingdom of Urartu to save his reign. However, at the same time, the Medes invaded Urartu, reaching its capital, Tushpa, and subjugating the kingdom. Urartu, referred to in the Bible as the Kingdom of Van or the Kingdom of Ararat, was an Iron Age civilization. Geographically, it encompassed northwestern and western Iran, the areas around Lake Urmia, Lake Van, the mountainous regions of Armenia, and eastern Anatolia in present-day Turkey. The people of Urartu were the ancestors of the ancient Armenians and ruled the region from approximately 860 to 600 before the Common Era. In 605 before the Common Era, Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian prince and commander of the Babylonian forces, marched with his army towards Carchemish to deliver the final blow to the Assyrians and their ally, Egypt. Carchemish was a fortified city with massive walls located by the Euphrates River. Necho II stationed the Egyptian army in this city and mobilized Assyrian forces to defend it. The Egyptian army consisted of various units of chariots, archers, and infantry soldiers equipped with bronze weapons. Necho II was confident in his force's abilities and hoped to halt Babylon in this region. In contrast, Nebuchadnezzar led a well-organized and equipped army. The Babylonian forces included heavily armored infantry, swift cavalry, and skilled siege engineers who had gained experience in capturing Assyrian cities. Nebuchadnezzar, having demonstrated his prowess in previous battles, aimed to bring Carchemish to its knees and gain complete control over the Middle East. The battle began early in the morning. The Babylonian forces, under Nebuchadnezzar's command, arrayed themselves in the plains around Carchemish, facing the Egyptian and Assyrian forces. Initially, the Egyptian chariots charged at the Babylonian lines. These chariots, renowned for their speed and power in battles, inflicted significant casualties on the Babylonian forces. However, Nebuchadnezzar, adept in military tactics, ordered his cavalry to attack the flanks of the Egyptian chariots and trap them. With this maneuver, the Egyptian chariots were quickly driven off the battlefield. After this, the infantry of both sides engaged in fierce combat. The Babylonian soldiers, better disciplined and more organized than their Egyptian counterparts, managed to break through the enemy lines. Nebuchadnezzar himself was present on the battlefield, commanding his troops directly and boosting their morale with his leadership. By noon, the Egyptian army and their Assyrian allies were in dire straits. Many Egyptian soldiers were killed or captured, while the remaining forces retreated toward Carchemish. Nebuchadnezzar, employing catapults, breached the city's massive walls and stormed in. Carchemish fell, marking the annihilation of the last remnants of the Assyrian Empire. The victory at Carchemish was a turning point in Babylonian history. Through this battle, Nebuchadnezzar established Babylon's position as the dominant power in the Middle East. The Assyrian Empire was completely destroyed and would never rise again. Pharaoh Necho II, having suffered a devastating defeat, returned to Egypt and was no longer able to maintain his influence in the lands of the Middle East. From that point on, Syria, Palestine, and the rest of the Levant came under Babylonian control. Following this battle, Nebuchadnezzar ascended to the throne of Babylon and inaugurated a long and glorious reign marked by the rebuilding of Babylon and further conquests. However, the Battle of Carchemish became a symbol of the end of one empire, Assyria, and the rise of another, Babylon. The Battle of Carchemish was not just a military victory, but also a signal of significant geopolitical changes in the Middle East. It laid the groundwork for the rise of Babylon as one of the greatest empires of the ancient world. Meanwhile, the fall of Assyria marked the end of a long era of tyranny and warfare in the region. Historians remember this battle as a defining moment in the history of the ancient Middle East, a time when the fate of nations was decided on the plains surrounding Carchemish, and the star of Nebuchadnezzar began to shine brightly in the history of Babylon.